Everyone, so good to see you. Welcome to KREM 2 News at noon. I'm Laura Papetti. Happening right now, the man charged with murdering 4 University of Idaho students is back in court. He is seeking 2 motions that could delay the trial. Brian Kohberger is charged with murdering Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Ethan Chapin in their off-campus home last November. Now, in the past hour, his defense team has been arguing for access to more DNA evidence in that case. Prosecutors say Kohberger's DNA is a match for DNA found on a knife sheath that was again found at the murder scene. The defense claims the state has failed to turn over evidence about unidentified samples and unexpected results, but the state claims there is nothing else to give them. The court is also expected to hear arguments from the defense about concerns over the grand jury process and alleged jury member bias. Depending on how the judge rules, the trial could be pushed back. KREM 2, we are in the courtroom right now, and we'll have an update coming up on KREM.com just as soon as that judge makes his decision. Also, we will have an update in our newscast coming up tonight, beginning at 4 o'clock. Now to an update on a story we brought you as breaking news this morning on Up with KREM. Overnight, a fire destroyed a historic 100-year-old building in downtown Chewelah. KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones has more on the efforts to fight this massive fire.
Well, what you're taking a look at right behind me is what remains of a building that has been here for more than 100 years. It's been a valuable piece in the community, and that's at least what residents have been telling me throughout the day. They say now they're going to have to go elsewhere. It's the only hardware store here in Chewelah. Only about 2,600 people live in this community. They're going to have to travel to places like Colville or other nearby towns and cities to now get the resources and materials they need for whatever project they may be working on. Also got a chance to speak with the firefighters, many who are just volunteers. They do jobs like teach and work other places like for the city, but they used this morning to fight flames for hours and hours. I mentioned that community, saw many of them just offering their support, telling one another that they love each other, thanking the firefighters for their service and doing what they were able to do, knocking out the flames this morning. One nearby restaurant that just recently opened, they told me they were out here observing everything. They're thankful for the efforts of those firefighters, and in return, they went ahead and they fed them.
Small town fire department, all being volunteers, all we can do is give back to them for what they're doing to keep us in business and this town, as safe as possible.
So thankfully there's no injuries to report along with this fire, but firefighters did tell me that the building is a complete loss. There was another restaurant right next door that was extremely damaged, and then there was a coffee shop right next to that has smoke and water damage. But yeah, that call came in a little bit before midnight, and that's when first responders got out here. They knocked out the flames for several hours, and now the cleanup process ensues. Once they have more information about the investigation, what could possibly have caused these flames, we'll update you on all of our platforms. But for now, reporting in Chewelah, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Brandon, thank you. 12:04 right now. Our temperatures are finally cooling down a little bit. We'll take that, but fire danger unfortunately remains high. So let's head on over to meteorologist Thomas Patrick, who has a look at the weekend forecast.
Hey there, Laura. And first of all, it is crazy bright outside today. Even our smoke and air quality has improved, but you can definitely hear the winds from our outdoor weather center. We just got the latest updates out at the National Weather Service office. Wind gusts already to 36 miles per hour as of this noon hour, and this is the way it's going to stay through about 6 o'clock for tonight. Because of those dry, windy conditions, we do remain under red flag warnings representing high fire danger across the region. So, of course, want to respect all the burn bans because today is a day where those, again, fire danger conditions are at their highest. This is all post-cold front. This happens in the summertime. It's not the hottest days that have the highest fire danger. It's usually the day after a heat wave ends because it's the cold front itself that's kicking up those winds out of the west, and that's why our skies have cleared out, and even the air quality has improved significantly from yesterday. But our expected high temperatures will top out at maybe around 90 degrees. We'll call it 89, though it is 83 right now. But I mentioned air quality because it was in the good category this morning, just dipped into moderate, but totally acceptable because it is all perfectly blue skies overhead. I do think it starts to worsen a little bit for tomorrow. But here's a tease for you to stay tuned later on. Have you ever heard the words Spokane and hurricane in the same sentence. We'll show you why we might be getting some tropical storm moisture come next week. It's a forecast you don't want to miss in just a couple of minutes.
All right, I'll be tuning in, Thomas. Thank you very much. State Road 26 near Dusty is back open today after Whitman County fire crews were able to contain a brush fire. Their efforts, by the way, saving 2 homes. Brian Jones owns one of those homes. His 97-year-old mom lives in the other. Officials say the fire was caused by a semi-truck, which pulled over in the town of Dusty when the driver noticed it was on fire. Then flames spread onto Jones' property, where not only does he have his homes, but 20 cows.
My cows stampeded into the fire, and for some crazy reason I thought there's nothing I can do, and then they turned around and came out of the smoke. And very thankful that all these neighbors came and saved my butt. They really pulled me out of the fire. No pun intended, literally.
People coming to the aid of their neighbor. The fire burned an estimated 20 to 30 acres. It did destroy a small garage and a pump house, but no one was hurt. Fire crews stayed overnight to make sure hot spots didn't begin another fire. Developing now, Spokane police arrested several people after a standoff on Spokane South Hill last night. Now, according to police, a group of armed people robbed a business on East 29th. The group then drove to an apartment complex on South Mount Vernon Street, where they locked themselves in an apartment for several hours while the SWAT team surrounded them. The SWAT team did eventually arrest them. This is coming in new at noon. The U.S. District Court is giving a warning about a new scam out there. The scammers claim that people will be arrested for failure to appear for a federal grand jury service unless they pay a fine. The Eastern District of Washington says federal law enforcement will never contact a jury member by email or phone and request personal information or payment. They say if a jury member fails to appear for jury duty, the court will make contact with them by mail.